Hey, what's up YouTube, Skybadger here, and I'm back with a tips and tricks video in Call of War 1942. And today we're going to talk about gold users and how to defeat them. So I'd just like to start this video off by saying thank you gold users for paying and buying gold so the rest of us can play this for free. So, how to defeat a gold user. Now, the first thing is you can't actually really defeat a gold user, especially if they're a spammer. Unless you're a spammer yourself, this can be pretty hard. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how not to get defeated. So first things first, make the battle and the game not worth paying for in the first place. And by this I mean defeat them early. If you defeat them and attack them within the first few days, they might just give up then and there. I know this has worked for myself. Obviously, if they get attacked in the first few days and they're losing, they might be like, well, I've only wasted 2 days on this, I'll just start a new game and spam gold there. So attack them early and quickly. And that brings me to my second point, is when you do attack them, do it with speed. If you can attack them, take heaps of land off them at once, and really give them nothing to fight for say, then they will give up, well, may give up as well. So you really need to make sure that when you are attacking them, that you do it in a manner that gives them nothing really to fight for. This doesn't always work. You can attack a gold user and you can reduce them to a few provinces, 1 or 2, and they will just, at that point, just spam and take all their land back. But quite often what you'll find is they'll be like, well, I'm bored of this game, I'll just go spam gold elsewhere. And that brings me to my next point, is gold users are people too. They're good people, they're paying for the game that you're playing free. So, be respectful. Obviously, most of us, myself included, do not have good opinions and views of gold users because, we play this game for fun, and it's annoying when you get to day 100 and you just get steamrolled by a gold user. So, even though they do seem the bad guys, really at the end of the day, they are kind of the good guy. Treat them with respect and be friendly, because, if you are friendly with them, and you're not a complete asshole, when they're steamrolling you and killing you, they might actually have mercy and say, well, you're actually a pretty decent guy. I'll leave you with your core, and you can help me out. So be friendly, play nice. I see too often in games, you'll come across a gold user, and immediately someone will out them in the newspaper saying, so and so is a gold user, everyone attack. And while that is honestly the best way to deal with a gold user, everyone gang up on them, if they control the whole map, probably not a good idea. So don't oppose the gold user unless you have to. Try be their friend, because at the end of the day, if you have an ally who's a gold spammer, you're probably going to win the game. So be friendly and be nice. And the next thing is, if you're fighting a gold spammer and you're losing, is water boundaries, okay? If you're going to fight a gold player, it's best to have water boundaries with them, okay? And by this I mean take islands like New Zealand, Australia, South Pacific Islands, and South Africa and South America. These places are incredibly easy to defend because there is water all around them. And water is a great boundary because troops need to embark onto ships, then disembark to get back onto land. And that can be an 8-hour process, even really at the shortest. So if you can have a water boundary with them, you're going to slow down their ability to spam troops and for the ability to overwhelm. Because this is a very common tactic used by gold spammers, is to overwhelm their enemy in sheer numbers. If it takes 8 hours for their troops to get to their target, then that gives you 8 hours to kill them while they're basically unprotected as ships and convoys. And that is one of the biggest advantages you can have. And quite often, if you're in this situation, they might just give up and they might just move on. So the next thing is rockets. Rockets deal damage instantly. They are your best friend, okay? Use rockets wherever you can, keep them out of range, and launch them whenever you can. Second, rockets are your worst enemy, especially in the hands of a gold spammer. Keep your troops out of range, okay? They can replace troops a lot easier than you can, so if you can keep troops away from the front lines, do so, okay? Same with aircraft. When you're done using aircraft for the day, send them well back so that if he finds out where they are, you don't come back in the morning and they're all gone. And that brings me to our next point too, is don't attack directly with aircraft when you're attacking targets, because your old gold spammer, he will see you attack those targets directly, your aircraft will fly back to the runway, and then he'll just launch a few rockets and destroy them. So keep that in mind. Use patrol on aircraft when you're fighting a gold spammer. Now, the next thing is, the other big advantage you can have over a gold user is the element of surprise if they have not attacked you, and if you intend to attack them. And I'm going to be honest, I don't recommend, attacking a gold user. It's almost like hitting a beehive with a stick or hornet's nest and they're just like getting murdered. It's not a good idea. But if you feel like it is, and I'm telling you it's not, then make sure you do it quick and you have the element of surprise. If you can send heaps of troops over their border and you can push him way back and you can make him take as much damage as possible, he might actually not bother wasting money if he doesn't think it will be worth taking back, or he doesn't think it is. So, really what it comes down to when you're fighting gold users is making it not worth it, making it expensive, making it hard to maintain, and making them spend even more and more money. And there's one more way you can do this. Well, not really you do it, but they do it to themselves. Is you'll find that gold spammers who are new to the game, not as experienced, will spam heaps of troops, and they'll drain their resources, not realizing that they then have to pay upkeep on those resources. And then at that point, their resources go negative, their morale drops, their production drops, their morale drops even more, their production drops. You understand the whole pattern if you watch my video on morale. And then before they know it, they're not just paying money to build troops, they're paying money to get the resources to make troops, and getting the resources to maintain troops. So very quickly they can dig themselves massive holes. So if you see a weakness in their economy, exploit it. Okay? If you see that they're really, really low on food, send out some economic saboteurs, or send out a few barrages of rockets to lower their morale. And that is generally how you do it. It's hard to win against a gold user, but if you can make it not worth fighting, then they generally won't. Okay? One of my last tips is, if you know you're going to fight a gold user, stockpile resources. I've been accused a few times by gold users for being a gold user myself, just because I stockpiled resources and then used those resources against them. So I could almost spam troops myself. Obviously I couldn't reduce the build time on them, but every single time a troop was done, I could have another one building straight away. And that helps you keep your troops up. They can replace troops, and you need to be able to replace yours as fast as they can, which you generally can't do, but you can come close. So, yeah, there's not really much more I can say other than how to spot a gold user. And when it comes to spotting a gold user, is obviously just look for the obvious. Look in the newspaper and look where they're building, and if they have heaps of buildings popping up in the same province in a matter of minutes, then you've got a gold user. If they're really far away ahead in technology, they have more research than you, for example, they're probably a gold user. I myself, I make sure I stay up to date on research, so I know if that someone is maybe 5% ahead of me, they are definitely a gold user. There's the obvious as well. If you see them spam troops, gold user, that sort of thing. Just because you know they're a gold user doesn't mean you need to tell everyone else. Obviously, ally yourself with them if they don't have any allies, and honestly be aware that they might backstab you. It happens, but honestly, if you're friends with them, you'll probably get a lot further. So be nice. Don't give them a reason to backstab you. Okay? There's not much more I can say. So thank you for watching.